Let's jump to content analytics. So this is one of our newer products, but before we get into the specific update, which is thumbnails and visualizations, I want to take a step back, talk a little bit more broadly about content analytics. So at a high level, this is about connecting content and performance in a much more direct way. Today, teams, right, they can see how channels or campaigns are performing, but it's much harder to understand which specific assets or those creative elements are driving the performance. So there's still a gap there, right? Performance data and the content behind it. What content analytics does is it brings us together. It lets you analyze the performance through the lens of the content. So you can understand not just what's working, but maybe which assets are driving engagement and why. And this is where AI becomes really important because of all this content volume that's growing, right? It's difficult to analyze all this manually. So AI helps scale that analysis, making it easier to surface patterns. It's going to be able to pull out those attributes from the assets that you can drill down into and understand what are those downstream business outcomes that are coming from even those attributes, right? So an update like this, like what you're seeing here, this is bringing content directly into the analysis experience. And what you're making is insights that are immediate and more easier to act on. So Charles, like, how are customers thinking about connecting content performance today? Like, what's your take on all this?
Yeah, I think this is another area where all of our customers who have tried to do anything like this have either quickly realized that it doesn't work in like Adobe Analytics or Google Analytics because the volume of tracking content and asset impressions is massive. And also it's really difficult to curate a taxonomy around the content objects itself to even drive any of this. So what's awesome here is Adobe now has a solution as part of Customer Journey Analytics as an add-on where it's conceptually just a simplistic implementation where we roll out a tag. And then Adobe has a lot of AI solution in the background. You can see those asset attributes kind of flash on the screen, where it's basically picking up all the imagery, all the assets, actually associating an ID with it, and then actually pulling consistent attributes of all those images on your behalf. And of course, if you have your own like hard-coded content objects or some sort of asset catalog, like we could bring that in as well. But Adobe is actually helping the speed to unlock these insights in a massive way by doing a lot of the heavy lifting to make this happen directly on your behalf. And as you can see with all the reports in here, it's the first place that I've ever seen where we actually have the asset level impressions, interactions. And like a basic way some of my customers have used this is for those that, again, are like have more heavy flows here, actually understanding what imagery is resonating, what imagery is overused or kind of underused at an asset level are important kind of components to kind of keep in consideration. So you can see the performance kind of on the right-hand side here. And layering that into how they actually structure and use assets in different places is some of the starting points of where this is really resonating.